Welcome back to an episode of The Base Never Die. I'm your host, Kanye Masehli. I'm joined by a full cast of D&D members. We've got Lucipo Matlala, we've got Tab, so we've got Bones. We'll start with the United fans. Bones, how are you feeling? You have seen Ten Hag's men step out once again, and you've seen Johnny Evans still representing Manchester United. That's ridiculous in my eyes. But how are you feeling, sir?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I'm annoyed that we didn't get the W. We definitely had the most chances. We were wasteful. So it's bittersweet because it was a good performance. I mean, it was like a B team, maybe even a C team City, but you know, the trophy was there to be won, which is really why I can't really look at it with the best sort of light. Yeah, no, I don't like Johnny Evans still, you know, being there when trophies are on the line. But you know, there are injuries that we've had to deal with. But thankfully, we recently just signed De Ligt and Mazraoui, which I think
United
it's not
title
necessarily
charge, huh?
more than that, it's squad depth, and really that's really what we need. That's really what's been finishing us since Ten Hag's actually been there. So
That is a
yeah, I
fact.
mean it's like I said, it's a mixed bag. I'm not necessarily pessimistic in any way. I think we are gonna have a good season. What a good season necessarily looks like, I'm not sure, but definitely improvement from what we saw last season. I already see a bit more cohesion. So yeah, we'll see.
I won't lie, when you're talking about good and you don't know what good looks like, I get concerned. Mr. Matlala, how are you? You watched Garnacho scored another cup final. I feel like at some point you are going to have to eat your words about him. How are you doing? How are you doing? You're about to watch the first full season without Klopp since you were a child. How's it feel, brother?
I was a child.
You were like what?
I mean, D&D
16?
listeners, I'm really not that young. Come on, guys.
How
Yeah,
old are
let's
you? How
be
old are
honest.
you?
Jeez. Yeah, I was like 18. What a child, but anyway.
It's a child, dude.
Um, I, it's gonna be tough, you know, a post-Klopp era. Wow, in my adulthood, I have never seen the Liverpool Football Club without that man, and he will be sorely missed. However, I do think it was the right time to change. Um, it makes me personally happy to know that United fans don't know what good football looks like anymore. Oh man, like they can't even answer it. They can't even begin to fathom what it would be like for good to look like. Oh, music to my ears. But aside from all that, Garnacho Cup final. I don't think I'll have to eat my words. You know, lots of people score in cup finals. Some people
Lots.
who are supposed to be good don't
Have some
score in enough. I
shame.
mean, how many did Henri score in? One, two, maybe?
Not, not zero.
No?
Um,
Oh, it's zero. Right, that's the number. So he scored in zero. So I just think that it's just not a good enough metric to really judge. That bicycle kick versus Everton, that was cool though. Other than that, I'm smooth sailing. I feel happy. I'm hacked about Fabio Carvalho. I don't know why we haven't signed anyone. It's weird. I don't like this new. I'm not used to this new system. I think I spoke to you privately about how I'm not fully convinced about this new model that Liverpool have. But I have to be cautiously optimistic because I do believe we have a good squad. I hope Luis Diaz doesn't leave. I don't like that everyone wants him to leave. It's never, ever made sense to me. But other than that, I'm good. Slot ball, we're getting there. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
and lastly, a returning Tab Soul. How are you, sir? How are you holding up?
I just have a question. Siba, is the reason are you guys still saying farewell to Klopp? Is there a reason you guys haven't signed a player? Are you still like struggling with the fact that he's gone? Like, what is the actual like? You know, is that? I just want to check before I get into my thing, but I'll give you some time to think about that. Look,
Uh,
I'm feeling all right because I'll tell you one thing. I'm feeling better than I was this time last year, which is like, oh, that's well, like why, dude? What have you seen that's made you feel better? I think that. There's intent in the signings that United have made. Like you get the idea now. Last year there were signings where like Mason Mount, no one got the idea. No one, it didn't make sense. Whereas we've signed guys other than Xerxes, which is, I think Xerxes the gamble, but Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Euro, like you get the intention there, right? So it's like, okay, cool. Someone or some people there are making decisions that are starting to make sense. Making sense in the transfer window versus translating that over a season, we've seen it's not that easy to be that coherent. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, good season, bad season. That will come with time. But I am feeling like people are giving us a reason to trust them again. And that's why you guys will always say, oh, United fans, you always like this at the beginning of every season. Well, yeah, we are always going to be like that. But I don't you guys think that for once in the last maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 years, it makes the most amount of sense to be just a tiny bit optimistic about the coming season. There has been change. There is a bit of stability with the manager. There's some new coaches. Like, the vibes aren't that bad for you guys to sit there and now say, like you always do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling good. Just on the Community Shield, it's been a while since United have been in one, a couple of years, and I forgot what a like talk your shit kind of like cup it is, because it really is just about talking shit. Like, if you win it, because everyone else pretends not to care about it, that's like your thing to talk shit about. And I was really looking forward to being able to say, like, you know, another chip, another victory at Wembley, we beat, like, it would have felt so good. So I was actually a bit more upset than I thought I would be when we lost that penalty shootout. And I forgot the Community Shield is like that. And I remember when Arsenal won it last season, the players took it very seriously. Like, beating City in that thing, it can be a big deal for your guys. So does it derail the season? Is it an ominous sign for us to come? Absolutely not. But like, you're better off winning it than losing it. And now that we've lost it, I'm like, damn, I wish we won it. But no, I don't think it's foreshadowing anything that's coming. I think it's going to be a very interesting season. But I'm not going to sit here and let anyone tell me that I mustn't feel good about what's to come. I won't have that.
Okay. I mean, I like what you said. It definitely is a talk your shit kind of tournament, right? I think that's its chief appeal. If you win, it's the season's curtain raiser. If you lose, it's just a friendly, right? I think it's an ego boost at all time. When we won it last year, I took it as a sign that we can go toe to toe with City, because obviously the game before was when they ravaged us at the Etihad. De Bruyne put it past Ramsdale. Let's not dig too deep into the past. But what I will say, though, in terms of United's prospects, as much as the signings have been good, because I think for me that's where all the optimism really lies, right? That you've signed some fucking players. You've still signed some more Ten Hag players, which, that has its own problems in the long term. But I think you guys have genuinely had a window to be happy about. I don't think there's many United fans that can say, you've been let down by the supposed promises that Ineos come with. They renovated the tunnel, lots of change. Lots of
vibes are good.
Right, but I think, look, I think there's stuff to be excited about, but it doesn't feel like stuff to be excited about this season. I feel like the issues that exist with Ten Hag tactically are still there. There's better players, sure, but I think your ceiling is still as capped as it was, which means at best a top 4 side. Like, United still feel that they're a ways from competing. Like, they still need to get to the point where Ten Hag leaves, and then they get the coach that comes in after Ten Hag, and you hope that you get that appointment right. So, I don't know. Trying to look at United and be like, yeah, no, there's a way that they're going. I'm just like, you guys are in top 4 side, more or less. If Rashford is content and if you sell Sancho in time, then it's like, cool. Like, you have the same situation that you had in Ten Hag's first season. You're a top 4 side and you could win a Carabao. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking too much shit. Because I believe, and I'm saying it live on the pod, that this is the fucking year. Arsenal are lifting. And I think we're lifting for one reason. Because we
win a
actually
cup
just fucking
first.
have to. Like, there's no room to do anything else, honestly speaking. Like, you win an FA Cup, it's still just like 200 M on the defense. That's the chip. Yeah, I don't think it's a situation where Arteta is the person that immediately goes, purely because I don't know who the fuck we get. Like, afterwards, I'd like to think that we'd be ambitious. We'd go for, like, an Inzaghi. See, I've mentioned that to you before. But I don't think that Arsenal would do that. I think Arteta is the main man at this point in time. I think City haven't improved. I think Julian Alvarez leaving is it is what it is. I don't think it hurts them terribly.
Warrior thieves.
Savio has, he's joined City in a very, very weird way. I'm not going to get into the multi-club ownership thing. But yeah, like I look at City, I don't think that they're much better than they were last season. I don't think that they were better than us last season. They didn't beat us once last season in 3 different games. We lost the league last season because we weren't real when it came down to it. We were meant to just beat Aston Villa. Like I feel like Arsenal were close enough to win the league last season. It's just like, no, like we've strengthened. City haven't gotten that much better. They've added a really good wide option because I do rate Savio. But besides that, there hasn't been that much change. It's KDB's last year. I'm sure there's lots we can discuss about that. But all around, I think this is the year. Mr. Mhlala, where do you land on Arsenal and the title challenge?
I think Arsenal are lifting as well. Actually, for very similar reasons to you, because you have to. What the hell? I do think you guys have improved in areas that you definitely needed to. As much as I'm not a fan of the aura chat of Calafiori, he does well for you guys. It's for the long-term sustainability of Arsenal as a growing football club, a dynasty, if you will. I think he's a good signing. I personally think that a Mamadashvili kind of signing would have maybe hit a little better, in a time like this. But certainly a striker is needed at Arsenal, in my opinion. Regardless of all that, I do think Arteta's got his ducks in a row. He's got the full support of the board, and he's got the money, he's got the power, and the pull, I believe, as well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm loyal. Maybe it's because I'm just eternally loyal to the guy. But you might have a very big Erling Haaland problem. I think that guy gets better every season. I think that he will terrorize everyone this season. And I think he's out to break Arsenal hearts. I do think Arsenal are lifting, but I think that if he has a great season in the Prem, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the reason that you don't lift.
I'm not happy that you said Arsenal going to lift and also said Haaland's going to break our hearts. Pick which one?
I mean, yeah, obviously you'd be upset about that, but
no, I'm saying pick one. Pick one. Which prediction?
No. What? No, you pick what you need to pick. I can live in both worlds. I can sit on the fence. You need to pick a side. I'm totally fine living in. Yeah, I think they will, but I can see it happening that way. I don't know. Without a striker, let me say that. If you guys don't sign Osimhen, Isak, somebody. Yeah.
We're just not signing either of those guys. So you're actually saying Arsenal are winning the league, despite that being your first sentence.
No. I know you want to pigeonhole this into like a realm of reality that you can accept, but I'm perfectly fine being on the fence. I can just say it that way.
Moving on.
I don't have anxieties here.
Tabsol, you said win a cup first. Let's hear you. What's happening for Arsenal this season?
Earn your stripes. Earn your stripes, dude. Everyone who's won the league recently, City. Before they were winning leagues, they were winning cups. Klopp, before he won the league, he won some cups. Did Conte? No, Conte came and won. It doesn't count.
He won the Champions League. He won the Champions League. They won the league. So you're saying that's our route. Win the Champions League first.
Do something, bro. Do something. Because what are you going to do? Another 4th round exit in the FA Cup and quarterfinals in the Carabao? But we must believe that you're going all the way. Why must we? The reason I'm not backing Arsenal this year is purely because I did it.
I think we're winning Champions League and the league.
That's great, man. Okay, cool. Then we are, we're winning the NBA. We're doing NBA, NFL, United. We're doing everything since we're in Fantasyland now. No, real world. Like, dude, do something first. Like I was saying, the only reason I'm not backing you to win this year is because I backed you last year and you didn't. My faith was not repaid. So I'm not doing it. Go ahead and win without my support. Right now, I'm backing the guys who have done it against the odds, with the odds in their favor, with 115 charges, with the best striker in the league, with the best manager in the league, with the ability to make any signing they want at any point in time, with the ability to win 15 to 16 games in a row when they need to. I'm going for those guys. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and back Arsenal again for no reason. City didn't beat us last year is not a reason that you're going to win the league last year. Signing Caliafori that 90% of our viewers
Well,
and people didn't even know before the
another
Euros.
reason.
So I'm not gonna sit here and buy into this hype. No, prove me wrong. Last season I was like, I had Arsenal win the league. I was let down by you, by Arsenal. Arsenal were not cheated of the league. They were not robbed of the league. It was not taken away from them. You lost the league. So I'm out. Go ahead and do it without me.
All like, do it without me is a bit crazy from a United fan. Like you weren't going to be why we wanted. It wasn't with your support that it was going to work out the best way. But look, you have reasons to not believe now, and that's fine. Will allow you to be where you are. All I know is that I believe in Jesus, the Arsenal number 9. I believe in the squad holistically. I think that there's been lots and lots of small things that have taken us away, taken us slightly off course from the best version of what this Arsenal side can be. And look, if it all blows up in my face, at least I'd have gone down believing my team would actually win the league. Last season, I said City would win the league at the start of the season. This is the first time I've actually said, like, this is my official prediction. I've had moments in seasons where I've said, I think we're going to do it. I think we're in it. I know we're in the title race. This is the first time where I'm looking at it and I genuinely do think there's enough here. There's more than enough here. I'm assuming Mourinho does get signed when I say this. If we're doing this in a world where our squad is exactly as it is and Nketiah is still an Arsenal player, there's no league title. I truly do believe he has to go for this to work out. Eddie Nketiah, I'm sorry if you hear this, but it means to an end, brother. Anyway, lastly, Bones, I suspect you share the sentiment of the other fans here in this group. Where do you stand on Arsenal in the league this season?
I'm not confident in them, I'm not going to lie. I also picked them.
Shocker.
Well, no, actually, no. I picked City, but I felt like you guys are going to really push them.
What picks are these? Where you guys are picking the team and then you still feel the other team? Pick one.
Man, let people
Bro, it's dynamic. It's dynamic. You can't
Fuck
always.
off with the dynamism. Pick one.
Well, okay. I don't think it's going to be Arsenal.
There we go. Simple.
Again.
Okay, yeah, sharp.
Mainly because I feel like
Definitely won't be fucking United.
Shut up. It's my time to speak. I utter Lesiba's sentiments where I feel that Haaland's going to have a bit of a comeback season. And I think if he is what he needs to be, because he needs to be, at his prime, really. But if he is that, City have enough. I think City have enough. Yeah, I just, I mean,
Wait,
I don't want to repeat what the man said. I'm indifferent to you guys now. I'm indifferent.
Your indifference means the world. You say comeback season for Haaland? What was happening? He got the golden boot, no?
Nah, but I mean, everyone could kind of tell he wasn't really at the level that you thought he was going to be. Given how he played last season, like.
Haaland was incredible. That's my Pookie Bear, and I love Erling Haaland. Okay.
No, and I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying that he wasn't really good, but I'm saying that he didn't feel like it didn't look like Haaland was at his best last season. That's what I feel. Okay, I felt that the season before he looked like he was at his best and he's improving. I wouldn't necessarily say that he regressed last season, but the form, the injuries, also they don't really look. They don't really look for him in the way that you would think a team that has Haaland does. But anyway, I genuinely do just think that he might also just feel that he has some people to silence with Mbappe also moving to Madrid. I think he also sees that if that Ballon d'Or is ever going to come, he's got to put up crazy things here. So I think he's also probably in a different mindset as far as I need to be the best in the world. I don't need to just be the best on this team. I don't need to be the best goal scorer. I need to be the best in the world. I think that's kind of the mindset that he's probably going to be entering this season. And I think City generally would just have enough, even if he just does what he did last season. If he kind of takes a step forward, as I hope that he will, because someone of his caliber, of his height, who is scared of headering, like it's, I feel like now, I'm sure after 2 seasons now, we're maybe gonna get 4, 5, maybe 6 goals now from the headers because he's maybe looking for those more, and he is quite young, so he's adding to his repertoire. He goes at a very high rate. So yeah, I think that's what I mean by comeback season. I think he's going to bounce back as far as if he was on a 60-goal trajectory before last season. I think he's gonna do whatever it takes to kind of seem like, okay, he's gonna get back to looking like he's gonna get there again.
Okay. So some Haaland believers then. I mean, I don't think there's any Haaland doubters at this point, right? So I don't know how moved I am.
Not doubters, but he was the only one in that Nike ad who wasn't at a summer tournament. So I'm saying if Haaland goes bust again or like has an average season, Nike, you got to cut him out. I don't want to see that stuff again. We're giving him one pass.
We're
giving him one pass.
What's average for Haaland? Because he won the Golden Boot again. He scored 27 league goals.
Yeah, I want the 46-goal Haaland. I want records. I need like 3 games with hat tricks. Like I need that level. Otherwise, get him out of the ads. Give it to someone else. Get Rashford back in the campaign or something.
Oh my God. Okay, can we move on? On?
The metric for Haaland, I feel, speaks more about how you guys perceive footballers than it does about him. Like I don't know what he's expected to do. Like he's gone to City.
That's the problem. They want FIFA.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Like the goals being said are very arbitrary things. Where it's just like, no, do this or this isn't enough. But it's like score 6 headers. Why 6? He scored 4 last season. He must have scored 2 more, and then it's a good season.
Yes.
And then Haaland's back.
It's improvement.
Yes.
Yes. You guys are being.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, okay. On a serious note, though, okay, Nike campaign aside, like we need to see like a sense of responsibility from him, right? He needs to have that like aura where it's like, you know what, the responsibility to score goals in this team lies on me. For his national team as well. I said this in the group that the fact that him and Odegaard were chilling at home, people shouldn't be okay with that. So we need to see let's acknowledge that there are steps for him to climb. Let's not put him at the summit and be like, oh, he's doing it. No, he can still climb, guys. We accept that, right? So he needs to show us as well. He can show us. And we back him. That's what you were saying, Kanya. There's no doubters. Cool, there's no doubters. But like, there's a difference between like being close to the finish line and actually running it and crossing it. So Haaland, go. Win the race. Again. In our faces. Win another golden boot on our heads. And then we can come back to this. And be like, okay, cool. He delivered. And I'll clap on the podcast for him. But he must show us.
Okay. Fair enough. In terms of the rest of what City have this season, obviously no Julian Alvarez, more room for a certain Oscar Bob. Does anyone have any major parts about the City team they'd like to discuss? We're talking about KDB's final season, perhaps. We're looking at a change in what makes them Manchester City. I don't imagine John Stones will be there much longer. There's talk about Edison potentially leaving in a year or so. If City are to move on from Pep, if they are to move on from KDB, what do you think that transition looks like? Since you guys believe they're winning the league anyway, do you guys think this is their last league title for a while? Do you think somebody else wins it the year after? Or do you think that City go on regardless of who the personnel is?
Okay,
I'll
start with Tab.
I think that it'll be I think 82 gets to the league. I think everyone's dropping points this year because just fatigue.
82 points gets to the league.
Promise you. There's going to be teams, everyone's losing more games this season. Promise you. We're not getting a 90-point season. Clip it. TikTok, clip this one. And we'll play it at the end of the season. We're getting like 82 wins in the league. Oaks will lose more games. But so if you're asking me like what happens after this season for City if Pep leaves, I think the team with the longest run of stability afterwards will win the league, and that will be Arsenal. I think that puts you in pole position. I don't think that's unquestionable. But this year, I need to see Like, what is Mateus Nunes? Why did they sign Mateus Nunes? Like, I need to see, why did they sign Jeremy Doku? I need to see, can we get any more value from Jack Grealish? Because last year, a lot of guys got away with a lot of things. Grealish did nothing. Doku did very little. Nunes did nothing. Kovacic came up big in a very short part of the season. Rodri has to stay fit. Like, there's too many guys who just got away with it. That league title, they got away with it, right? De Bruyne, give me a 28-game season. Because I feel like if Nunes doesn't come to the party, and Grealish doesn't come to the party, and Doku doesn't come to the party, you don't have your Mahrezes anymore. You don't have your... Who's another big player that they let go? I don't want to say Cancelo, but you don't have those guys where the quality will shine through or over and over and over again. So these guys, these bit part City players, because they do play a lot, but these bit part guys who haven't shown much in a City shirt, they need to come to the party. That's what I want to see. And who's going to get the most out of them? Pep Guardiola. That's why I'm backing City. If not, then there's big trouble.
Okay. Nah, man. You guys have made your stances very clear. In terms of the rest of the Premier League, if I speak about Chelsea again, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say at this point. They linked to João Felix. I feel like they might not be. There's nothing for me to say. I'll let Tab say what he has to say here.
Challenge. I thought about this the other day. I don't think, and this is a world first in football, I don't think anybody can name the best Chelsea starting 11 right now. Not even the manager. Not even the Chelsea players. Name it. Tell me who the best players in any formation. Name a Chelsea side. We'll do this. Everyone who's watching, write down a Chelsea 11 and show it to a friend. And if you guys get the same 11, I'll give you both 1,000 rand. Impossible. Impossible. It's not happening. Not happening.
Yeah, no. If you want to talk about disorganization, like that's not a serious football club. I really think Chelsea could get relegated. Not this season, but they're not above what happened to Leeds. I feel like this kind of shit is how things went down for them. And
have you guys seen the chats about Chelsea being run like a baseball club?
I have not.
Yeah.
I have not. But
Well, it's just the Americans. Americans are just problems.
It's strange, right? Like I've heard this thing that, like, you know,
that's that. Sorry. Before you go on,
In sports.
wait.
Let me not.
Before you go on.
Not Americans in total. I mean, Americans.
All of our owners are American. All of our football clubs.
Man, I heard it as well. I didn't want to say anything. I heard it as well.
And
But exactly.
the problem is.
Okay, I've had a problem because our American owners have been problems. In fact, it's because we're low-key almost insulating them from football decisions. That's actually only why there's been this optimism that Tabani alluded to at the beginning, that like it looks like, okay, we might be an actual football club now because the Americans ruined it.
Okay.
Your Americans
I feel
are
like
okay,
you could have let
but
him
our
land.
Americans ruined
I feel like you could have let him land, Kanya. You could have let him land.
No,
You could have let me land.
I went back to get more context.
But it's fine, yeah, I
it
feel you. I feel you.
just sounded very anti-imperialist. I was like, okay, this is a political stance that Bones has. Let me hear him out. Sorry, Mr. Matala, we interrupted you.
No problem. For those who are completely confused by all of this, so the chat that I've heard is basically that the model that Todd Bowley's going for is to kind of sign these young players, these under 23 players, on these 9-year contracts, because in baseball you kind of do the same thing with young players, and you let them develop and become better players so that you can sell them for a lot of money later down the line. That's how apparently it works in baseball. I personally don't watch baseball. That's insane. I'm South African. And I see how Chelsea are moving, and it just looks foreign to me. It looks so foreign. I cannot understand the business decisions going on at that club. Never mind the football. The football, some of it's actually pretty good. I won't lie. Chelsea in the last 2-3 months of the season, I like some of their stuff. The backroom staff, no idea what they're going for. I just wanted to know what you guys think of that thing.
I mean, honestly, the moment Chelsea sacked Poch, in my eyes, they were doomed. I think if you're if you wanted a transitional coach before you are back at the big time, I don't think you could have gotten better than Poch. He looked like he finally was getting it all together near the end of the season. He was complaining a lot about the fact that it wasn't his side. It wasn't his side. They weren't his signings. I feel like he was probably aware of what their summer plans were and thought, oh, these Oaks are gonna dust me again. So I think honestly he's the big winner in all of this. I think in a year's time, when everyone looks at Chelsea and you look at where Poch is, wherever he is at that point in time, you'll think, thank God he's not attached to that mess. In terms of what you're speaking about specifically with the baseball plan, football doesn't work that way. I think they're trying. I think it is clear that they want to obviously hover up all the young talent in the world, but you kind of need them to develop in very stable environments. And I think they're hoping that they can use Strasbourg for that, to house their players in the meantime. But I don't think it's that simple a process. Ultimately, I think Chelsea are dusted. I've been seeing rumors that they might get a transfer ban, and that's why they've been moving this bad. Like, they're aware of that. And personally, if I knew my club was going to get a transfer ban, I would not be stoked that one of our last signings would be João Felix potentially. But hey, not my club. Les will make peace with this throughout the season. Bones, where do you land on Chelsea besides hating American people?
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I want to have an opinion, but I don't know what they're doing. Like, I'm confused. Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, there are these sentiments of trying to format it in the baseball, the long contracts, and to be fair, I've actually seen how those long contracts don't work out, because I think United, in some slightly revised way, used to do that as well. I mean, with Rashford getting his 250k when he was 21, hoping that contract kind of ages well. Same thing with Sancho. So I can already see that there's no merit. There's no merit in that.
I forgot that you guys gave Sancho 200k a week.
It's more, isn't it? I feel like anyway, it doesn't
more.
matter.
More than 200k.
It's more. I feel like it might be 400. I want to see.
Your issue is
I think like 350.
United were moving like they were desperate under the Glazers for a while. Like, you were hungry to sign whoever. Because why the fuck would you give Sancho 250k?
But like, that's speaking to my point. You know,
About the
I've
Americans.
seen
Yes.
exactly. I see how they operate, and I see it just doesn't make sense. And okay, maybe it makes sense to them, whatever. But it doesn't create a calm or stable environment for anything that seems like it makes sense. It doesn't look like it makes sense to anyone. I can't even tell you who they're signing. Like, I don't know these guys. Like, I don't know these
Hey,
guys.
Bones just hacked with Chelsea. This guy hates Chelsea, bro. Yo.
No, it's not even that. It's just I'm getting triggered because I'm seeing things that I've seen before. So I'm actually kind of happy, because I feel like Chelsea are going to be down bad for a while. But like, you know, I'm confused. I actually just say I'm confused, because I don't know what they're doing.
So, something a lot less confusing, moving away from, you know, the major factors in the Prem. Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid. The most boring transfer saga of all time has finally come to its conclusion. And the little discussion that's still left around how he fits in, I think he fits in perfectly fine. I think that they couldn't have been a better coach for this kind of signing to have occurred under. If it was somebody else, then I think there'd be more cause for concern. I think the time to be worried about Mbappe might come in the post-Carlo Ancelotti days, whenever that time comes. Tabsol, where do you land on this? I think, on the record, I think the person who has the most to worry about is that Brazilian who used to play on the right wing, certain Rodrigo. A Tabsol in Vesti, I believe. So, Tab, where do you land on all this? How do you think this season pans out for Real Madrid?
I think the season will be more than fine for Real Madrid. They'll definitely win at least the league. Champions League is really only decided with your quarterfinal draw now. So Real Madrid will go into probably each tie as favorites. It's just about so like Real Madrid can win a treble and they can win a La Liga, and it's pretty much the same season. I don't know. That kind of doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. Like, it's fine margins. So I'll say what I said on the group a year ago. When it comes to Mbappe to moving to Real Madrid, this is probably the highest standard I'll expect of anyone at any club right now. I said I'm not here for what's it called? Pichichis. I don't need pichichis. I don't need Champions League Man of the Match awards. I need a Ballon d'Or season. I need Champions League winning season. I need decisive moments in the Champions League, because I was yelled at for dapping Haaland winning the Champions League, and I was told City didn't win the Champions League because of Haaland. And if that was right, that's fine. I need Mbappe to win I'm saying high standard. He needs to emulate. He's going there to emulate CR7. I need goal per game record. I need responding to Lamine Yamal's hat-tricks on the game. I'm setting the bar so ridiculously high for this guy because I'm allowed to. Like, why shouldn't I? After all that he's done, like you said, the most boring transfer saga of all time, all the promises we've been fed by these Madridistas telling us that Mbappe is coming. So cool, he's here now. I need to make sure this was worth my time. Because if he goes there and it's just, he won't be a guy. But if he's the same Mbappe that I've been telling everyone is not by far the best player in the world, I'm going to come for each and every single one of you who told me that. I know who you are. I know what you said. So I need him to become this best player in the world by far. The bar is here. Look above my head. That's how high the bar is for him. And I'm not dropping it. It will not drop.
How tall are you?
I'm the same height as Courtois.
But look, Tab, honestly, I can't buy what you're saying. If the figures are true, they're talking about 150 million signing on bonus. With all the noise around it, the expectation, honestly, is this is the year that you win the Ballon d'Or. If you've been the player that they say that he's been, he does have to show up and do that. I don't think football works that way. I think Madrid will it's going to sound ridiculous. They just won't win the Champions League this year. I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe Mbappe scores 30 league goals, though. I believe he's going to rip La Liga to absolute bits. But that's not good enough for Tab Soul. Mr. Bashara, what do you think we need to see from Mbappe? Are there any concerns at all? Do you have any concerns about squad for any particular players now that he's arrived?
I just need Mbappe to settle in and have a good time. As a Real Madrid fan, I share Tabani's sentiments about this has been yours as well, Tanya. Been the most boring transfer saga, and the whole TikTok thing, whatever. Now it's here. I don't care for Mbappe needs to score 65 goals, win the Ballon d'Or, win the Super Bowl, cure cancer, and do a bicycle kick that saves the universe. I don't need all of that from Mbappe. I really don't. If Mbappe scores 25 league goals, even less, like 23, he wins the league, I'm happy. As a Real Madrid supporter, we just won the Champions League and the league. I don't need football to be this constant, barrage of, overwhelming success dude, there's other teams, bro. There's other stuff. I'm very pro-competition in football. And for someone like Mbappe to not have a knockout 60-goal season, I think I like that more. I think I'd prefer that, actually. I'd like it if somebody else does it. Imagine Lamine Yamal did that. That would be great. I'd love it if that happened. I think Mbappe is a great player, and he's a great signing for Real Madrid, and I think he'll do very well. But if in his first season he doesn't immediately light the world on fire, I am perfectly fine with that. If Vinny still does well, Jude still does well, if everyone else still does well, if Arda Güler gets a starting place, I would love that. That's what I'm focused on. Mbappe, Ronaldo-esque Ballon d'Or, then I couldn't give less of a shit about that. I don't need. I'm not gonna say I want him. I don't want him to. I'm fine.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Mbappe did not do all of that to come to La Liga, to go toe for toe with Lamine Yamal. I will not accept that. I will not have that, okay? If Lamine Yamal outshines Mbappe, I might have to, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna get bad. It's gonna
Why
get
are you
ugly.
so angry at the game, though? You're angry at football for this. Like, football, dude, you need... I'm saying this.
I'm
Look,
angry at what I've
the
been
media, the
told. I'm
media
angry.
didn't
I'm
see.
hacked at what I've been
That's,
told.
You say
that's what I'm saying,
by
the media
Rendai.
has
Rendai can't run in your head like this, brother.
Mbappe is just playing football. Mbappe is just playing football. The media has done this. He's just playing football. And if
No, I'm not
he has a
having this
bad season,
kumbaya. I'm not having this kumbaya nonsense. 30 goals, a Champions League, and a
majority
Ballon d'Or
like,
top
nah,
three.
nah, nah, you
Oh,
focus,
don't waste my
right?
time, man.
Everybody, okay, well, that's not me. That's not me. That is definitely not me. I'll be easy. I want to see how this. I want to be surprised by this season. If Mbappe does that and wins Ballon d'Or, that'll be even more boring than the transfer saga to me. If you score 60 goals and wins Ballon d'Or, boring as hell. Boring as hell.
I'm
If you have
not
an
boring.
okay season,
Personally, I'd be very stoked if Mbappe scored 60 this first year. I'd be very happy to see that personally.
that's not where I stand. That's
Okay.
as you are.
Bones, we'll let you have the last word on this. Where do you think? How do you think this all pans out for Kylian Mbappe?
I don't know how it pans out, but I share Tabani's sentiments in that I need spectacular.
Fireworks.
Yes, exactly. I need another alien rebirth type vibe. You know what I mean? Like Ronaldo and Messi, where I need him to get close to those things. Not. I don't. He doesn't necessarily have to do 63 times in a row. Like nah. But touch 60 once. Touch 60 sometime. If you're there for like 6 years, touch 60 at least once.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Be at 40 at least 4 of the times. Like dominate, bro. I need you to dominate.
Do it
Okay?
big.
I want you to dominate. You're not gonna have done all of that nonsense to just come and be a guy, like an average guy. Even I want you to even have that kind of friction with Vinny about who's the best. Like not in a way where you guys are
Are dysfunctional, but you're saying they must go blow for blow and say who's the guy for real.
exactly, bar for bar, and see, like
You're saying
let
you want to see them fight over a
the audience
penalty.
decide because on paper, on performance, you can't really tell because we're, you know what I mean. Like I need that competitive fire. Like
Yeah.
I need it, bro. I need it. I don't like having like even Kamavinga. I don't even know. I just thought of him being injured and I just got sad. But anyway, but
It
I
is
need
sad
fire.
though. I understand where you're
I
at.
don't want him to. I don't want him to kind of regress the sort of team functionality and the cohesion that is there because that's kind of even the big thing that I got from last season is that these Oaks are united. A very talented group, but they're united and very focused on a common purpose. So he needs to slot into that, but he also needs to be the guy. And that is a very tough challenge, both physically and mentally, but that is what is expected of the very best. He thinks he's the very best. He does his bullshit like he's the very best, so he needs to prove it now. He's got the platform. This is the platform. So I need to see it. I need to see it.
Okay.
Maybe not even this season, as far as maybe because even when Ronaldo got there, that wasn't his first season. Was his worst season as far as statistics, and he was injured and whatever. But whatever. So you will always have to contextualize things. But I need him to go from strength to strength every time. I need
Okay.
consistency and I need domination.
High hopes for Kylian Mbappe. No, I like this. I like things are clear. But with all the speak about Real Madrid, we must of course touch on Barcelona, and they're somehow making a signing, a massive signing every single window, despite having no money. Dani Olmo has joined, a player I'm remarkably fond of. I'm happy to see him get his big move. Is there much to say about Barca? Do Barca have a prayer
Who's responsible for this?
under their new manager? Is there any hope? Is there any hope whatsoever that Barca might put up a challenge in the Liga this season?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I
Yes.
believe.
I don't think it'll be a particularly strong one, but I think they will be there. I think they'll be there like they were last season. Like they were there.
Were they
They'll be
there?
Barcelona.
I feel like they weren't there until like it was basically already done. And I feel like Girona was second for most of the season. and then Barca just ended up finishing
I don't
second.
necessarily mean like the consistency of them being there. I just mean that they'll end up second or third. Like that's where I see them.
So title race, like neck and neck, not so much.
Maybe maybe if they're lucky, maybe if they're lucky and there isn't really that sort of seamless blend of all the talent at Madrid the first season, kind of actually now having a lot more attackers to kind of consider, and maybe maybe they don't really find their groove. So maybe I can give them until February. Maybe until February is competitive. But I think if Madrid hit a stride, it's done. That's what I feel.
No, for what it's worth, I wrote of Hansi Flick quite early on. As soon as he was announced as Barca coach, I said that I don't think he'll be there in 18 months' time. And I still hold the same belief. I don't believe that December of 2025 that will be Barcelona's coach. I think Barca fucked up, not in the same way Chelsea did, of course, but they fucked up by getting rid of Xavi. I think that the goodwill afforded to a Barca coach was something that was really, really important. I think he was making it work with what was a really weird side, honestly speaking. I don't think his job was simple at all. He still won the league with that Barca side, with an aged Lewandowski. I think Xavi was remarkably hard done by, and very unlucky to not make a Champions League semi-final. The way they went out against PSG was a very underwhelming thing. I don't think that was a coaching flaw necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Barca annoy me because it feels like a club that doesn't need to be in this situation. Of course, we know why it's the case, and we can't speak every time we speak about them, speak about Laporta, but they're a club in recovery. They're a club in recovery. I think expecting a title race so soon would be foolish and unfair on Flick as well. As I said before, I don't think he'll be there for that long, but I think expecting him to, or judging him rather, by whether or not he's in a title race or not would be unfair. I think there is more to say though about Atletico Madrid. Mr. Matlala, you and I have spoken about Julian Alvarez and how we feel about him and how good he truly is. He's been given a stage. He's worth at least £80 million. Apparently, he is Antoine Griezmann's successor. He is the shining light at Atletico Madrid right now. How do you see this move panning out? Do you think that him arriving, potentially Gallagher, if they sort out that absolute mess of a transfer, do you see a world where Atletico Madrid are actually the side that competes for a title?
I think we need to ask ourselves, is Julian Alvarez better than Angel Correa?
Yes.
Like, let's really think about it for a second. Better? Is he better? Like, no, I'd rather have Julian Alvarez in my team. I don't know. And my Atletico Madrid team. Don't know. Obviously, we haven't seen Alvarez there. Let's give him a chance. But yes, we have spoken at length about our reservations regarding that certain character. I don't see it, man. 100 million euros for Julian Alvarez, it just doesn't totally make sense to me. I think Atletico are in a good spot. I think the Conor Gallagher deal would be very good for them as well. I'm not the biggest Conor Gallagher fan per se, as a purist of football, but gee whiz, if there's ever a Atletico Madrid midfielder, yeah, that's the guy. If Atletico challenge for the league, Julian Alvarez needs to show me something he's never shown me before. There is a certain temperament, a certain leadership quality within a footballer that I think Alvarez is yet to show. If I could put it on a spectrum, it would go from Jude Bellingham to Julian Alvarez. Okay, wow. I think that like João Felix, for example, actually is more the extreme side of that spectrum. Somebody who, like Marco Asensio, is another example. Somebody who, like, you're obviously a talented player. You're obviously good at what you do, but you have none of the personality to match your talent, and therefore, why should we really care? Julian Alvarez perpetually seems like a child. He broke out into the scene, what was it, 2020? Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Was
2021.
it 2020? 2021.
Yeah, 2020,
Right.
2021. Somewhere there.
Somewhere there, which is, albeit not a very long time ago, but it's enough time for him to say like, hey, I'm the guy, I'm World Cup winner, Copa America winner, world beater, Julian Alvarez. Give me a shot, you know? Yes, he had to compete with someone like Erling Haaland, but why didn't you just say like, put me in, coach? Like, play two strikers. Like, I don't know, figure something out. I think he's a talented guy. It's just that he's not my pick. Julian Alvarez needs to show me something drastic in order for me to believe in him. I think Atletico suffer from this transfer. That's my opinion, financially especially.
Okay. That
That's my
is
2 cents.
scathing. Bones, your views on Mr. Alvarez? Or Spider-Man? Apparently that's what they call him. I found that really fucking random, but okay, Atletico Madrid.
I,
That's
Yeah,
what
I
they call
mean,
him because of a celebration. He does the Spider-Man thing.
oh, okay. I didn't notice. Um, not hitting a shot. Just
No,
so
I'm
that
taking a shot. I think it's
Oh,
really
okay,
tight.
okay, cool.
Yeah. No, I think Alvarez is toast. He's like very talented, but I'm glad he's out the prem. Like I didn't enjoy watching him.
Yeah, look, I think he almost suffers from maybe not knowing what he's supposed to be. I don't. He looks like a. I don't know if he's a striker. He looks like a second striker, maybe. Like, or even if he was a striker, I don't necessarily feel that he has that sort of goal
That thing, like when you
thirstiness.
go hungry.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like if you are going to be a striker, as he is quite technically good, but you kind of need that for his height, to be able to do what you need to do in that position. So I mean, that doesn't necessarily, that doesn't jump out of the paper. I mean, maybe Griezmann can kind of help him. I don't know, see the game better, understand how to occupy, or maybe understand his talents better, and where he can be better effective, because I think it was also tough to be effective when really everyone knows that if you're in the position you should give it to Haaland because he's the guy, and if he's not the guy and you're the guy, I mean a lot of the times they also did have him kind of playing a little bit deeper
Out of
than where
position.
Haaland would have been if he was there, so eh, he almost suffered from that ability of being a technical kind of striker, in a very technical
He
side.
became a cog more than anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you kind of lose your identity within the squad sort of identity, I think you also kind of lose a bit of confidence, and you kind of don't, your aura and your I don't know, you don't look as distinctive as you should be. You don't necessarily look like this is exactly how I kick a ball. You look like a guy kicking a ball. You know what I mean? Like his personality has kind of left his game. So maybe being in La Liga where technical players are kind of able to kind of maneuver a lot better, maybe there he might kind of find that freedom to
Yeah.
not only just explore where he should be effective, but also just his technical ability just suits La Liga. It's a calmer game. He's good at passing, so he's got good spatial awareness. So I don't necessarily see him struggling. Whether he's going to set the world alight, which 100 million feels like you should, I don't know, but I do think that he'll be a good player. And if he's there for long, then maybe it will end up being money well spent.
No, I definitely hear that. For what it's worth, as much as I haven't enjoyed it at City, I think he's going to take the fuck off Atletico Madrid. I actually think he's going to excel. Truly. I don't think that him excelling. I said as much as I didn't enjoy him at City.
Oh, right.
I think that I think he does extremely well at Atletico Madrid. I think the signings they've made, I think him playing just behind Sorloth, if that's how they actually play him, I hope that's what's happening. How it will actually pans out, remains to be seen. But I think there are enough ingredients there for us to see the Julian Alvarez that we were told about at River Plate. Truly. I think it is right what you're saying about. It's like he was essentially playing as the fourth option, right? Like he was at City where the players that they're referring to before him in any kind of real decision making capacity, it's De Bruyne, it's Foden, it's Haaland, and then it's Alvarez, right? When you're thinking about who makes them those guys. And even then, like, I noticed at the end of the season, he didn't start any of the last, I think, 4 games. Like, right when you really do have to win all of those games. I think the fact that Bernardo Silva is still trusted more than him, probably, even out of position, I'm sure he still thought, I should be in these games. So, it's an odd end, a very odd end, but, yeah. La Liga's big 3, I don't know. I as much as I advocate for watching as many leagues as possible, I don't know if there's tons of excitement to be found in La Liga this season outside of the top 3. I hope that we have another Girona story. I hope that there's more that we get from Villarreal this season. Something that makes tuning into games in the lower levels of the table worthwhile. But that remains to be seen. But one league that I know will definitely be a lot more boring, despite us celebrating it and trying to advocate for our listeners to watch, is Serie A. Lads, as a Milan fan, I want to keep this as brief as possible. I hate that we signed Morata. I hate that we couldn't sign Fofana from Monaco. I hate that we've signed Emerson Royale. I hate that Inter have done basically nothing in the window and they are still so much better than we are. The most exciting thing I think that's happened in Serie A this season is that Juve signed Bologna's coach. Yes, it's Thiago Motta. Yes, he's highly rated, but that being the standout thing, realistically, in Serie A this season does not bode well. Of course, Antonio Conte's return, so Napoli will at least be somewhat relevant, right? I just don't know how things are going to look. They still talk about Osimhen leaving. I don't know. Like Serie A kind of feels like it's become Inter's league again, like in a way where I don't even expect them to struggle at all to maintain their title. I think even they will be thinking more than anything else they need to improve more on a European front. I'm very disheartened by what I've seen in Serie A this year. Mr. Matala, I don't know, where do you stand on all of this? How do you feel about how things are shaping up?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the sentiment, honestly. I wish I could offer something of a divergence opinion, but honestly, Serie A is looking more and more like the league that people thought it was last year. Last season, I think it really did offer something dynamic and something entertaining. In my opinion, it was the second most entertaining league after the Premier League. I am also, as a Milan fan, unhappy with the signings being made. I'm starting to get really worried about Rafael. Like, what's his real level? I think I thought of him differently. I'm starting, doubts are creeping in about him. I think that he's still a terrific player and a game changer that can turn the game on its head any moment, but his ability to consistently perform that way, I'm having doubts about that. Beyond that, I'm really excited for Lautaro and Inter to see what they can cook up on the European stage more than anything, because I'd like for them to offer something. I'd like for them to offer something in the Champions League to shake things up. Other than that, Juve's third kit looks cool.
Kefren Thuram, that's cool.
Kefren Thuram to Juve is also very, very cool. Excited to see him at a big club. Geez, if only Superport still had that deal. But yeah, Kefren Thuram as well. That's my thoughts on Serie A.
Bones, do you have any thoughts on this, or are you more or less in agreement with Siba and I that Serie A, right now at least, doesn't look like the most promising thing in the world?
I definitely agree. Serie A has that kind of tendency to go into those periods of domination from one team. And I think you alluded to it that it's possible that Inter might be kind of entering that kind of phase. Because I mean, they won by 19 points, and as you say, it doesn't necessarily look like the needles move too much. As far as the moves that everyone else has made, and sometimes kind of people discount the fact that you're not making new moves with a team, but a team that's well functioning, and obviously with players that aren't all necessarily old. Some are kind of in their prime, some are young, so they're also steadily improving, even though you're not necessarily adding new bodies into the squad. The squad itself and its quality is still incrementally improving as the coaching is kind of being implemented. And obviously, you'd hope that players are like self-motivated to do better than what they did last season. I'm sure Alataro, their captain, is someone who would also want to go from strength to strength, having had his best season last season, and kind of looking like he can do more. He definitely looks like he's getting to where you thought he might have gone when he kind of blew up,
The first time.
3 years ago. Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think it's definitely still probably Inter's to lose.
Okay. No, then we're aligned. We're aligned. One thing I will say though, we've got Como to look out for. Cesc Fabregas is a coach. As an Arsenal fan, that does hold a certain level of intrigue, of course. But yeah, I think it is tough to advocate for a league when the title feels so much like a predetermined thing. You're always hoping that you get a bit more, there's a bit more good, a bit more fight for the big prize. But I think in the middle of Syria, there is still tons of excitement to be found. I think the fact that Daniel De Rossi does look like a serious option as a coach at Roma, that's something to be excited about. Of course, there's rumors about Dybala departing, not the happiest news in the world. But I think that as football fans, we will find a way to make the coverage of the Serie A this season entertaining. But Les, before we wrap up, there's still something that we have to touch on, and that is your big takes for this season. I'm not even going to say that saying Arsenal win the league is the big take. Saying Arsenal win the Champions League isn't my big take. My big take, ladies and gentlemen, that guy, that Australian guy there by Tottenham Hotspur, he's not finishing the season as their coach. You've heard it here first. I don't think they've done enough to fix the lapses that existed that side. Whether or not he actually gets sacked obviously depends on the board and him absolutely being like catastrophic this season. I don't think that's would be the case. I just think that there's enough tension that already exists in terms of how good he might actually be versus the ambition he seems to have. That I think that there's room for a little dysfunction there by Tottenham. I think they don't get top four this season. I think the top four is made up of Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and this is going to sound a little bit crazy. Manchester, no, I'm lying, and Aston Villa. And Aston Villa. But yeah, no. Ange Postecoglou, I'm very nervous about you, brother. Bones, I need your final hits or your predictions rather, your big hitters for this season before we get into match day one.
Okay. I'll say a comeback season for MR10. I think.
That's the big hit. The super talented left wing will play well.
No.
Yeah, but like
It's
not just
season.
yeah. I think he put me on the spot. I think United get into the top four. I think Arsenal. I think City, and I think. I'll give it to Liverpool. So I think that's my top four.
Okay.
I think Haaland. As I alluded to, I think Haaland is going to have a really big season. What else? I don't know, guys. I'm very measured. I don't come with the
Same. I also don't become.
I've never
gonna-
come with whatever the fuck that was.
I'm gonna. Yeah, no, I think I'm calm with what I've said.
Okay.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. Now, Mr. Maklala, your chance to shine as we close up the episode.
I have one take and one take only. Harvey Elliott wins Young Player of the PFA Young Player of the Year. That's it.
You know, fair enough. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen, but like, I can see why you believe that. But to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. This has been great. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad the football is on its way. I'm glad that we have made it through a very long summer. Lots of waiting, lots of uncertainty. I'm happy to say that D&D has finally returned. And Emil Smith Rowe, we are waiting for you on Friday night. Show them who you are, my brother. Show them who you are.
Ain't no way.
There you go.